The name's Diamonds. Sam Diamonds. And yes, before you ask, diamonds are a girl's best friend. I'm going to tell you about a case I worked on about 10 years ago when I was in the police department. I call it the Boilermaker. My partner was John, we called him Johnny Boy Illucido, second generation Italian American. Loved his hand cut Italian suits, brand new shoes, spick and span. Anyway, we were working homicide and we caught this case where these prostitutes were being sliced and diced. And we started going around, and of course they didn't want us around asking questions because we scared away their business, and their pimps definitely didn't want us around thinking we were harassing the girls. Anyway, a little while later, the pimps started dying. They started carrying bodyguards and arming themselves, but they were still dying. And all of a sudden, we were welcomed. The thing was, just as quickly as it started, it evaporated. Nothing. For about, 8-9 months. The following summer, late summer, early fall, it started up again, but this time it started on campus, college campus here. And the weird part was that it was athletes and cheerleaders. And it culminated on Halloween. There was a triple homicide. It was 2 football players and a cheerleader. Now, the thing that really got us crazy was there was no sign of restraints. I mean, why didn't they try running away? Why didn't they try escaping? I mean, if one person was being attacked, the other 2 were just there. I mean, it got us to thinking that maybe this was a female or maybe somebody dressed up like clergy, but again, why wouldn't people want to leave? Anyway, all of a sudden, like the year before, everything dried up. And then the third year, we caught a break. Got a call in from a snitch. And the thing was, I was home having lunch with Missy. It was our 10th anniversary, so I was having kind of lunch, if you know what I mean. Well, Johnny Boy, like I said, got the call down at the office. And he calls me. The snitch wanted to meet in the warehouse district. Now, because I live near the warehouse district, it was quicker for me just to go to the warehouse than to go back to the station. And so I told Johnny I'd just meet him there. I got stuck by a train, half hour. Anyway, I get there and I hear the scuffling noise in the back. I go, hey, what's going on? Hey, where are you guys? And of course they call back. And here's Johnny standing over the snitch, just kicking the living daylights out of him. He said that the snitch pulled a knife and threatened to kill him. So we dragged him back to the squad car, called for an ambulance and called for backup. Well, the ambulance came, took him to the hospital, just barely saved his life. Went back, took the backup, and we looked around. We couldn't find a knife. I couldn't find anything. There was no evidence that Johnny Boy was attacked. We get back to the station. The captain calls us in, asks us for our report, and then IA comes in, Internal Affairs. Johnny asked me to, to kind of put in a word for him there. I told him, John, I can't lie to IA. I tell him the facts, but I didn't see a knife. I can't verify what you have. Now, Johnny gets transferred. The son of a bitch gets transferred to Vice? Come on now. Anyway, I got a new partner called Ike Cooper. Ex-Marine, loyal as a dog. Couldn't ask for a better partner. So we started working the case. But again, things just dry up. So the next year, all of a sudden, we got some leads. We got some real solid leads. And we're going along, and we just about got enough for a warrant. And there's one more piece of evidence that I'm trying to go find. And so I told Ike, I said, Ike, stay back at the station. Wait for the phone call from the judge. Make sure we get our warrant. I'm going to go get this piece of evidence, and I'll be back. Well, I get there, and it was a wild goose chase. Get on the horn, call up Ike, say, hey, Ike, something's wrong here. It's not panning out. This is a wild goose chase. I call up Missy, and let's kind of see how she's doing. She doesn't answer. I mean, she always answers the phone when she's home, and I know she's home, okay? So I called back Ike. I said, Ike, do me a favor. Go check on my house. Go see what's wrong with Missy. Why isn't she answering the phone? Well, Ike gets there, and the door's ajar. And he knows something's amiss. He goes in, he cleans the house, sweeps the house, and there in the kitchen was this platter of antipasta. Missy loved making antipasta for visitors. That was her favorite. She was known for that. Anyway, there's this half-made platter of antipasta on the counter, and when he looks down, there's this pool of blood just on the floor, and it's just swished and swallowed like something or somebody was dragged through it, and it's kind of leading off all directions. Anyway, Ike goes to the different rooms in the house and finds different parts of Missy's bodies just cut up and placed strategically throughout the room. He calls the coroner and goes outside and waits for me. I mean, I come running in. Where's Missy? What's going on? And he kind of tackled me. He grabbed me and stopped me from going in. Well, that was the start. And I couldn't handle it. I went on a 5-year drinking binge. My favorite was the Boilermaker. Shot in the beer. Yeah, that was me. Ike, like I said, he was loyal like a dog. He covered me for a year. And the brass knew. I mean, they always do. They transferred him back to foot patrol. And they put me just enough rope to hang myself. About a year or so later, forced me to retire. So I'm going deep end. I'm not anywhere near ready yet. And about a little over a year ago, I finally hit bottom and I sobered up. Shortly after that, I got my PI license. Opened the doors. I got Dollface. I mean, I love Dollface. She sits in the front office there and screens all my calls. Yeah, I love Dollface. Anyway, I get a call from the commissioner. Wants me to come in and revisit the case, look at it with some fresh eyes. I said, okay, fine. Couldn't hurt. Walk into the station. There on my desk is a note. The captain wants to see you. Whoop-de-doo, big deal, right? The captain wants to see you. Anyway, I knock on the captain's door, walk in. He turns around. He's looking out the window. He turns around. Look, it's Johnny Ilicito. John Boy Ilicito is now captain. We exchange our pleasantries and our warm regards for each other. Yes. He says he knows how much this case really means to me and what it's going to cost me. And so he reaches in his bottom drawer and he pulls out a warm beer and a bottle of whiskey. He said, here you go, Sam, for old time's sake. I said, no, I don't drink anymore. He goes, come on, Sam, what would it hurt? I go, I don't drink anymore. Get that out of my face. Well, again, we had our little pleasantries. We had our hellos, and I went back to my desk to check the case. I pulled out my old files. I started going through them, see maybe I missed something. Didn't. I called back Ike's files. Maybe Ike, because we're so close. Maybe he wrote something down, and it's not there. And even got some of Johnny Boy's homicide files. And there was something there, but you couldn't put your finger on it, okay? On a whim, I said, let me call up and get some of Johnny Boy's Vice. And there was one case that interested me. They gave it to Vice because they thought these break-ins and these burglaries and these vandalism were drug-related. That the cartels were coming in and doing whatever, stealing or damaging for drug money. And so they gave it to Vice. But it turned out it wasn't. It was a group of homeless people would come in, and when the weather started changing, weather started turning bad, they would go and vandalize a house or something. And they'd actually sit there and wait for the cops to come. They'd get arrested. They'd plead guilty. Of course, they get sentenced for a couple months in jail. Time off for good behavior. But for the winter time, they'd be in a warm bed, 3 squares a day, telephone to use. I started looking at this one group. And it was led by this woman called Mama Bush. Everybody called her the Bushwhacker. Mama Bush was, 4'6" if she was an inch. And she weighed 75 pounds sopping wet. And things didn't quite appear right. So I dug a little deeper, and I found out that one of the cases, one of the homeowners didn't like so much that Mama Bush and her little gang of homeless people were vandalizing and was going to do something himself, but she beat him to within an inch of his life. That got me to thinking, hey, what's going on here? So I dug deeper into Mama Bush's past, and I found out that she was a ex-cook at the Ranger training class school here in town. And then I found out that when the Rangers would go to the hand-to-hand combat, Mama Bush would go with them. And when she was asked why, she said, "Hey, look how small I am. I'm afraid of being, mugged or something." So they let her participate in this training. So she had all this training that nobody really knew about. So anyway, we started putting two and two together. And then this last murder that came up, found out that she left her knife there, her switchblade there. And we were able to take the switchblade in for evidence and took her to court. And got our conviction. Guilty as charged. Life in prison. Case closed. Everybody slapping me on the back saying, great job, come on back. Even Johnny Boy said, hey, let bygones be bygones. I'm happy back in my little office. After all, I got doll face.